like the title of the video says, tell me that Gundam doesn't look like something from a Transformers Bayverse film series. How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disaster and welcome back to another review, and today I'm going to do a review of the high-grade Build Divers R Gundam GLs from the manga called Gundam Build Divers Break, which is a spin-off of Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise. And that's all the backstory you gotta get because I never read the manga. But what I do know is that this kit is gonna have some of the same parts from the 2014 kit, the Gundam G Self. As for me, I never built a Reconquista model kit before, and now that I have this kit in my hands, I want to see what this one's all about, because I heard mixed feelings about that line. I guess that's going to carry over on this kit. Taking a look at the box art, we have the Gundam GLs ready to fire its gun, and while the background is on fire. And there is a QR code if you want to watch the anime. Moving on to this side of the box, you see that the GLs is showing off its action poses, and moving on to the right, you can display it with his BFF. On the other side of the box, we have the front and rear shot of the kit, and right over here is the information. And cracking open inside the box, we are greeted with 4 bags of runners and the manual. On the cover of the manual, we see a familiar box art, and right down there we have some nice line art of the G Self and the pilot, and we have more information. So if you guys want to read, feel free to pause and do so. Cracking open inside the manual, it looks like we have a handful of leftover parts. And taking a look at this part of the manual, it showcases that you can use the G Self backpack and attach it on the GLs, and unfortunately I don't have that kit. And moving on to the back of the manual, we have the GLs in its familiar action poses like we saw in the box, and like I already mentioned, this is the kit that it's based off of. And right down there is a color guide if you're planning on painting it. Starting off with runner A1 is going to be the black parts. Just a heads up, there is no runner A2. Maybe it has something to do with the G Self kits. Runner B is going to be the off-white parts. Yeah, I'm aware that this piece of a runner just snapped off. Runner C, we're going to have more black parts. Runner D is going to be a small runner with dark pink parts. Runner E is going to be the joint parts for the elbow bands, the knee bands, and looks like we have gun parts as well. And it looks like it really needs to be painted. F looks like a clear pinkish red parts. Runner G is gonna be a multicolored runner. We have the off-white and the black, and another tiny off-white piece. 2 of the H runners, and it's gonna be the gray parts. Small polycap runner, beam saber effect parts, and finally you have a sticker sheet. Well, I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to detail paint this kit on this review. So that's about it for the unboxing. Usually I would have high hopes and get all excited when I build a kit, but for this one, I'm going to set my expectations a little low. I'll see you guys right after the build. Yeah, I just had to stop myself for a second, but tell me that does not look like a face. I mean, look at this. He's got a little mouth too. And here is the GLs all put together. Now, for the most part, the build was pretty simple, but the one that's giving me the most trouble is the head. Talking about putting the face together and that seam line across the head. I tried to smush it as much as I could, but it just keeps popping out. And speaking of seam lines, I already told you the one on the head, but there is one on the shoulder, but that can go as a detail. Another seam line on the side of the torso. We got another seam line on this side and that side of the arm, but that can go as a detail. We got another one that's going up and down on the thigh, and finally we have a tricky one on the side of the legs. Now before I get into the stickers, as you can see, I already painted some parts of the head because I know that's going to be a pain later on, so I'm just going to make it easier for myself. So starting off the head with this pink, white, and red sticker that goes on the forehead. Now if you're planning on detail painting, luckily for you, this white piece is actually a separate plastic part. This eye sticker goes onto the top, and this eye sticker goes onto the bottom. This little sticker right here goes onto the forehead. The 5 and 6 sticker goes onto the side of the head. Pay attention which side it goes on. The number 1 sticker goes onto this part of the head, while the number 2 sticker goes onto this part of the head. The 9 and 10 stickers goes onto this part of the torso. Pay attention which side it goes on. The tiny little pink square stickers, or the number 12 stickers, goes onto this part of the elbow. The number 11 sticker goes onto this crotch piece. It's supposed to be behind the clear piece. Now the reason why I haven't put this piece on is because I want to paint it first and then I'll put the clear piece on. The number 14 sticker goes onto this part of the shoulder, while 16 goes onto this part of the shoulder. Moving on to the back of the shoulders, number 15 sticker goes onto this side of the shoulder, while number 13 goes onto this side of the shoulder. However, 17, 18, they go onto these parts of the shoulder. You just have to pay attention which side it goes on. Finally, moving on to the legs, these half circle stickers, they go onto each side of the legs. The number 21 stickers, they go onto the back of the legs right up here. And the 22 stickers, they go onto this part of the leg. These pink and red stickers, the big ones, they go behind this clear piece. And while these two, they go behind this clear piece. So that about wraps up the unboxing. What I forgot to mention is that with the out-of-box presentation, it looks pretty underwhelming. So if you really want to detail this kit up, you're going to have to get out your comfort zone, which I'm going to do right now, and I'll see you guys right after that. And here is the GLs when you put the work into this kit, and I have to say, yes, it does make the kit look good. Yes, I did put the clear piece on the crotch piece. Now before I do that, I did put some silver paint behind the clear piece. That's what I did on the knee parts as well, because for me, it just makes it look a little brighter. Come to think of it, I think I should have used white paint instead. Before I get into the accessories, let's talk about the amount of extra parts you get in this kit. Now, let's say you're not a big fan of these shoulders. Well, you do have the original shoulders. The only thing it's missing is the poly cap right in there. If you don't prefer the spiky things, well, you do have the original pieces. Not a big fan of that face? Well, have no fear, because you do have the original eyes and mouthpiece. You don't like the gray upper arm parts? Well, don't worry, you have the black ones. If you guys prefer the smooth back of the arms, well, this piece got you covered. Not a big fan of these leg pieces? Well, you do have the original one, minus the clear red piece that goes inside. Those claw-like feet, don't like them? Well, Bandai's got you covered with the regular ones. So you do get these beam saber handles, though in the promotion, they never showed this kit holding the beam sabers. But that's not gonna stop me from doing this. With the extra parts out of the way, let's finally go into the accessories, starting off with hand options. You have these two regular weapon holding hands. Next up, you have the trigger finger hand along with the beam rifle. Now the beam rifle came in gray, so I had to paint in all the details. Next up, you have two of these grow up arms. I am not kidding, that is the name of the weapon. To attach it, you take this peg and plug it underneath the arm, and it would look just like that. Now, you do get some articulation on the grow up arm, like you get some claw movement, and you also get the removable handle. And to put on the handle, well, actually, you're pretty much faking it, so you can rotate the hand like that, bring up the handle so it will create an illusion, and this part can swing down. So if you guys have an action base with the grabbing thing, you can have these things whooshing around, and you can also attach a beam saber effect part, which is pretty cool. And for the final accessories, that is going to be on the feet. Okay, well, not the entire foot, but you get what I mean. Now, these things are called the grow up leg. Oh my god, what is up with these ridiculous names on these accessories? You have articulation on these grow up feet. Oh my god, I can't even say it without laughing. And this flap moves down, and if you look into the back, there is a 3mm hole, and again, if you have an action base stand, you can plug it and have it whooshing around. For articulation, you do get a double ball joint on the head and the neck, ball joint on the shoulder. The arm can move up that high. You do get a bicep swivel. Okay, now get this. You do get a double bend on the elbow, but once you put the armor on, it's a 90-degree bend. Also, ball joint on the wrist. Get two ball joints on the torso, one up here and one down there, and you're not gonna get as much movement. And as for the waist swivel, you're not gonna get as much as well. Front skirt moves out that far, side skirt can move out just a little bit, but you do get a bit of a rotation. Back skirts, however, of course, it's in the fixed position. The leg can kick up that far, move back that far, and as for the splits, well, you're not gonna get a full splits. Due to the design of the leg, you're gonna get a limited thigh swivel. Like how I mentioned on the arm, you do get a double joint on the knee, but when you bend it, it's slightly over 90. Rotation on the side of leg, you get a ball joint on the ankle armor, And on the back, you get a ball joint on the back of the ankle armor. The foot can swing forward this much, can swing out that much. That's pretty weak. And the only good thing about this articulation, a decent pivot. Overall, the articulation is a bit lacking. I'll explain more on my final thoughts. So let's move on to the size comparisons. For size comparisons, here it is right next to the standard size Gundam, and as you can see, the G Self is taller, maybe because the claw-like feet gave it a boost in height. Up next, here it is right next to its BFF, the Shining Break. Now get this, these two are actually good guys, even though the GL looks evil. Finally, here it is right next to Prime and Godzilla. Now that's about it for the size comparisons. Let's move on to my final thoughts. So for my final thoughts, the good thing about this kit is that it looks good. That is, if you have a specific taste. However, on the negative side, now going back to what I said about the articulation is lacking, I'm going to be a little mean here. There are better kits that have better articulation. Now keep in mind that it's using the same frame parts from a 2014 kit. I have more fun posing the GM Striker, and that is a 2006 kit. So the main question is, what went wrong in 2014? On the bright side of things, I'm sure you can find some ways to modify the kit to make it more posable. Another negative thing I want to point out is the grow up arms. I forgot to tell you that the connection is not really solid. If you touch it the wrong way, it does pop off pretty easily, but that's no big deal because that's an easy fix. And the last negative thing, it is sticker heavy, and if you're the kind of person who doesn't like stickers, well, you're gonna have to put some work into it. Now I know some of you guys have two questions to ask me. The first question is, am I gonna get the HGG Self? Well, I might as well just for the sake of collecting. And another question, do I recommend this kit? Yes, but only if you're willing to put the work in and if you're planning to do some modifications. If not, well, you can just pass on this kit. Alright, I'm about to wrap up the review right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing if you want to see more content. And if you have any questions, concerns, or if you already have this kit, comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Now, the idea of putting the atmospheric backpack onto the GL sounds pretty cool, but can you imagine that if you fold up these blades and that thing will hinder the backpack?